Okay, onward to the third cat dissection. And what we're going to do is remove a little bit of the skin that's covering the cat on its face on one side. So especially on one side, you'll want to remove some skin at the face and be able to, you'll find the masseter underneath there. You can't see it quite yet, but it'll be under there. Then another thing in regards to the dissection are the muscles of the neck. And starting out, you can already see one of them, the sternomastoid. The sternomastoid is there, left and right. And then in between the sternomastoids, you will want to remove some of the fat and fascia that's covering over these muscles. Now, it's not obvious on this cat, but there's a transverse jugular vein that might be running across the area here on your cat's neck. And it's a good landmark to be able to identify some of the muscles of the neck. Part for this dissection is to remove that thick white fascia layer that's covering muscles on the forearm. And you'll need to do this here on the underside of the forearm, and then you also need to do it on the flip side. So when the cat's on its belly, you'll need to remove the fascia that's covering up those muscles. On the underside here, we'll see eventually flexors, and then if the cat's flipped over, removing the fascia there lets you see the extensor muscles. Just remember, when you flip the cat over, still take a look at the same arm. So look at the muscles. You pick an either right or a left arm, and here we've chosen the right arm to take a look at both the flexors and the extensors, removing that white fascia. And it might be that you need to peel the skin further down towards the foot in order to see the tendons that are coming off of these muscles. Okay. And another thing is just an additional cut to take a look at the intercostals. Kind of feel around and where those below the xiphi humerales, where there's still the rib cage, so the bottom of the rib cage. And then what you want to do is you want to nick into the external oblique over that rib cage. So you just nick into it and peel it up, and you'll eventually see the rib cage underneath there. And then we'll take a look in just a second. When you nick into that external oblique enough, you should be able to see the ribs in between. The ribs underneath there, and then the muscle that's in between them, intercostals. There's actually a layer just a little underneath that one, and then you'll find internal intercostal. And so one of the final parts of the dissection is to take a look at the oblique. So we can see the external oblique, but we want to see some layers underneath it. And so find a spot, usually just off to the side of the lumbar dorsal fascia, and nick into the external oblique. And you'll find a cobwebbiness just underneath. These are just like a millimeter thick of a layer. And underneath the external oblique, you'll find an internal oblique. And then when you repeat that process, you'll find a third layer underneath called the transversus abdominis.